Here are the solutions of exercise of lesson 1, 3 questions from your English reader book, Honeycomb. Here I have given clear instructions of which questions you must do in the book and which one you are to do in notebook. For question answers, use black pen for questions and blue for answers. Anything that you do in the book, you must use pencil for that. Wherever you need, you can pause the video to match your writing pace. Write neatly. Lesson 1, 3 questions. Comprehension check on page number 10. Do in notebook. Question 1. Why did the king want to know answers to 3 questions? Answer. The king wanted to know the answers to 3 questions as he wished to become a great ruler. He thought if he knew answers of these 3 things, he would never fail. Question 2. Mark in the book itself with pencil. Messengers were sent throughout the kingdom to fetch wise men, to find answers to the 3 questions, to look for the wise hermit, to announce a reward for those who could answer the questions. Mark your choice. Second option, to find answers to the questions. Comprehension check on page number 14. Do in the book. Many wise men answered the 3 questions, but their answers were so varied that the king was not satisfied. Someone suggested that there should be a council of wise men to help the king act at the right time. Someone else suggested that the king should have a timetable and follow it strictly. Number 4. The king requested the hermit to answer 3 questions. Number 5. The king washed and dressed the bearded man's wound, but the bleeding would not stop. Working with text, page number 14. Do in the notebook. Answer the following questions. Why was the king advised to go to magicians? Some of the wise men thought that to decide the right time to do something, one must look into the future, and only magicians were able to do that. So they advised the king to go to the magicians. Question 2. In answer to the second question, whose advice did the people say would be important to the king? Answer. In answer to the second question, some wise men believed that king should have some counselors to give him advice. Some others said priest. Some other wise men said that doctor's advice was the most important, and yet others believed that the soldiers were the most necessary. You can pause the video anytime you need to match your speed. Question 3. What suggestions were made in answer to the third question? In answer to the third question, that is, what is the most important thing to do? Some wise men responded that science was the most important thing. Some others believed that fighting was the most crucial thing to do for a king, and others chose religious worship. Question 4. Did the wise men win the reward? If not, why not? Answer. No. None of the wise men won the reward, as the answers to his questions were so different that the king was not satisfied with any of those answers. Question 5. How did the king and the hermit help the wounded man? The king cleaned the wound by washing it. Then he covered the wound with his handkerchief. He continued to dress the wound until the bleeding stopped entirely. The king gave some water to the wounded man to drink. The king, with the help of the hermit, carried the wounded man inside the hut and laid him on the bed so that he could rest in the night. Question 6. Part 1. Who was the bearded man? Part 2. Why did he ask for king's forgiveness? Answer of Part 1. The bearded man was the king's enemy. He had come there to take revenge against the king for his brother's death and take back his property. Answer to the second part. He asked for the king's forgiveness because he came to kill the king and the king saved his life. He was grateful to the king. Question 7. The king forgave the bearded man. What did he do to show his forgiveness? The king forgave the bearded man. He showed his forgiveness by offering to send doctor and servants to take care of him. He promised to return his property too. Question 8. What were the hermit's answer to the 3 questions? Write each answer separately. Which answer do you like the most and why? The hermit's answer to the 3 questions were: the right time to do something is now, because it is the only time when we can act. Number 2, the most important person is the person you are with at a particular moment, because we don't know what will happen in the future. Number 3, the most important thing to do is to do good to the person, because we are here on the earth for that purpose alone. All the 3 answers are best to the context, but I like third answer the most, because helping others in need is like serving God. Working with language. Do in the book itself with pencil. Question 1. Match items in list A with their meanings in list B. Use any 3 of the above words in sentence of your own. You may change the form of the word. Answers to match the following. Wounded means severely injured. Awoke means got up from sleep. Forgive means pardon. Faithful means loyal. Pity means feel sorry for. Beds means small patches of ground for plants. Return means give back. Sentence with 3 words. Santosh had to return the money he borrowed from his friend. Number 2. The noise awoke the baby from her sleep. Number 3. Please forgive me. Question 2. Again do in the book itself. Each of the following sentences has 2 blanks. Fill in the blanks with appropriate form of the word given in the brackets. do in the book itself. The judge said that only fresh evidence would make him change his judgment. I didn't notice any serious difference of opinion among the debaters, although they differed from one another over small points. It's a fairly simple question to answer, but will you accept my answer as final? Isn't necessary that necessity should always be the mother of invention. Number 5. Hermits are wise men. How they acquire their wisdom, no one can tell. Number 6. The committee has decided to make Jagadish captain of the team. The decision is likely to please everyone. Asking for forgiveness is as noble as willingness to forgive.